Hey, we are live on Facebook and YouTube, folks. This is a first for us here at Friends of the Squared Circle. As you probably saw, we went live on our sister show, Show Me the Collectibles, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But Rich, we are excited to sit down and chat with you. We've been planning this for a while. Let's just jump into it. Give us a brief background of your wrestling fandom and a little bit about yourself.
Well, yes, sir. First off, thank you for having me. I know we've been friends for quite a while, man. It's
Oh
great
yeah,
to
that's
see what you've
yeah.
been growing here and the podcast for you, man. I'm really happy for you.
Thank you.
Um, so yeah, man, a little bit about me. I've been in broadcasting since 2009. Really made my debut as a ring announcer
Okay.
here in Arkansas in 2018, I believe it was. And then, just back and forth kind of since then. But this last go around, we've been going pretty good. I'm working for multiple promotions here in
Very nice.
Arkansas and really seeing the independent scene just really start to blow up and take a whole new form around the state here. So excited to be a part of it. And fandom, I know you talked about. I've been a fan of wrestling ever since I was a kid, man. Back in the days of Ultimate Warrior and Hulk
Mhm.
Hogan, Big Boss Man, everything like that.
So, what was it about Warrior and them that really captivated you? For me, I learned about it through video games by hanging out at a friend's house. He had the action figures. I just thought it was all, like a cartoon series until I eventually saw it on TV for the first time. But what was it for your wrestling fandom uh, that helped suck you into that there?
Um, Really, man, just being a kid. And what I mean by that, I came into it like you were talking about coming into it, from
Mhm.
a different side. I came into it from the TV side.
Okay.
So for me, what it was is, I mean, I remember, back when I was younger, we'd be over at my grandpa's house on my dad's side, and wrestling was on Saturday night, Monday
Very
night,
nice.
whatever. And so that was, we'd order food out somewhere and take it over to the grandparents' house, and I'd be, sitting on the floor there eating food, and dad and grandpa and
Mhm.
brother watching wrestling, and that was how I grew up in it. And just of course the larger than life characters. I was a huge, Hulkamaniac when I was a kid. I had the little blue dumbbells and the, workout tape and everything. So,
I remember
um,
that set. I remember that set vividly.
yeah, I remember the headband and everything
Oh,
with it.
geez,
Yeah.
man, I'm turning red just thinking about it. We got one of your fellow friends here. It looks like Dakota the Real Deal says that's my bro Rich Rockwell. So you're bringing in the views already on like our friend Loopy, who just talks about it, as well as Indie Talk is joining us today. Make sure you guys
Awesome.
give them a follow as well. Indie Talk and Wrestling from the 313, as well as Rich Rockwell's page here. Who were some of your early favorites? For me, I was captivated by Goldust, Mankind, Taker, but who really was your go-to guy in those first early days?
Um, Man, I talk about Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior and the bigger names like that. Of course, not denying that he was a big name, but the guy
Mhm.
that I always loved the most, there was two of them it was tied for. One was Jake the Snake,
Okay,
love Jake the Snake, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan, man, he was another favorite of mine. Yep.
I loved his action figure. Yeah, the 2x4.
Yes.
Those Mattel early action figures were great because they always came with something. We mentioned Big Boss Man in the beginning. He came with the
Yep.
nightstick. Jake the Snake with the rubber snake. Like, how cool is that? And you mentioned Jake the Snake. One thing that always, impresses me about him is how he was able to turn his life around, how he's back in the wrestling scene, doing independent wrestling. So
Absolutely.
it's great to see Jake thriving out there as well. Were you afraid of snakes? Did you like snakes?
Oh no, I'm still deathly afraid of snakes. Yeah. No, no, no. No, and I live in Arkansas, so yeah, I've walked outside a couple times and the dogs go, after a snake, and I'm like, nope, y'all have fun.
You're on your own. Yeah,
Yep.
I don't mind snakes. It's the flying insects, the flying animals, anything that can get in my personal space. I do not like. Coco Beware is technically a horror character for me because he has a giant parrot. But now, with your wrestling fandom at a young age, were you able to go to any live events? Were you able to go to any indie shows? How did that work out for you as a kid?
So no, not as a kid. I don't think I went to my actual first wrestling show. I want to say I was like 16.
Okay.
And it was a Monday Night Raw in Detroit at Joe Louis Arena. And yes, I'm 38 now, so it was a long time ago. But I remember a group of myself and my friends. Of course, we were all, and I was always WWF. I never really
Okay.
did much or got into like the WCW side of things.
Okay.
But yeah, so we went to a Raw, and of course, group of myself and other 16-year-old friends, and it was just a blast. It was a blast to be there. I've been to a Raw. I've been to WrestleMania when it was at Ford Field in Detroit.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah, that was an awesome experience. And then just recently, here in Little Rock, we had both Monday Night Raw and AEW come in, so I got to go to both of those events. So.
And we'll touch on AEW here in a minute. I want to stay with that fandom here.
Yeah.
As you got older, did you levitate towards DX? Were you more, The Rock, Stone Cold? What was your fandom like then? Because for me, I kind of was a WCW kid, so the NWO was the supreme being out there in professional wrestling. But as you're getting older, how did your favorites change?
Yeah, definitely Stone Cold was always my favorite. I can't I can't tell you the amount of times I got sent home from school for the day for wearing like a Bye Bye Jackass shirt or 100% Hellraiser,
Nice.
Yeah. Stone Cold was definitely my favorite. DX, I was a fan of The Rock and of course the whole feud, but I don't know, the feud between Stone Cold and Vince McMahon, that was my feud. Mm-hmm. That was the one that I just ate up.
Yeah, and that's kind of where it's so funny when I say it, because I didn't like the Rock. I wasn't a fan of Stone Cold. I liked all the weird characters like Hardcore Holly, Mankind again, Gold Dust, and such. Hang on. No, you're good. So we're gonna pause here real quick, folks. Looks like we got another. Geez, Rich is bringing in the views. At this time, I want you all to remember to like and subscribe to our Facebook. We are 46 away from 3,000. We are just killing it in the friend zone. I know that's pertains to something else, but we are excited to continue to keep growing. If you have not already liked our YouTube, this is a chance to jump over to our YouTube because we are live there, hopefully. If anybody's watching on YouTube, let us know that we are live. Rich, you got another follow in here. We got Erica Black or
yes.
Block. I can't read that far away. I did get new glasses, but they don't work well because my face is just.
That's Erica Black, and I know you did mention Dakota earlier. I wanted to say hey to him and Wrestling from the 313 and everybody else. Thank you for joining in. You got to see my kiddo there a minute ago. That's also the joy that comes with being a full-time single dad along with all this. So
yeah, and we're doing live, so we're gonna have the fun. It's how you handle it. I feel like I handled it well, and if you think I didn't, let me know in the comment section how I can do better.
No, man, I think you did. Thank you for certainly thank you for understanding. And
no, you're good. You're good. Erica, we are not a professional podcast here, folks. We just pretend to know what we're doing, and that's why it's fun doing lives. But back to your fandom here.
Yeah.
Did you collect any of the early action figures back then? Did you have any, posters, VHS tapes? Now we're aging ourselves here, talking about VHS. But did you collect anything along the way?
Yeah. I mean, we mentioned, of course, about the old Hulk Hogan, blue dumbbells mm-hmm. and the whole workout set and everything. Action figures was another one that I was into. And really outside of that, like championship belts. I always just loved the design and, had the little mock belts and things. And kiddo still actually has a couple of the new ones. So
very nice.
Unfortunately, I've lost a lot of my collection during the year, during the years. But yeah, that was always what I was after.
If I knew what I knew now back then, I would probably just put them on a shelf and not touch them. I really don't get into the action figure craze because I would have too many. I love the Ninja Turtles in Jurassic Park, as you can see behind me. But I try to keep it to just the original 4 and the few bad guys. That way I don't get too crazy because there's too many. Same when it comes to the action figures, I just collect gold dust, and the local talent here. I got Arya Davari back there as well. But Jurassic Park, I'll put anything back there that's Jurassic Park because there's not a lot of it out there like there is the other stuff now. Looks like Indie Talk says the only friend zone we will accept is to be in Friends of the Squared Circle. Look at them sucking up. No, I'm just kidding. Jaron and Jesse over there have a unique podcast, folks, where they discuss kind of still the storylines of what's happening in our indie scene here in Minneapolis and Wisconsin. They do a great job. They have a lot of good talent on there. Jealous of it, but also we like to dive into the fan perspective, so we try to stay in our lane, as well as Dakota Dill coming back with another soundbite here. Sounds professional to me. If you want to come on the show, sir, give us a like and follow. We'll get you on too, and we'll even get Rich to help co-host that. I just kind of threw you under the bus there, Rich. But as you got older, did you lose your wrestling fandom at all, or did you continue to drive right through into the where we are now?
Oh, no. I've definitely, stepped away from it for throughout years and come back and, watched it. And, so yeah, there's definitely bits and pieces that I've missed. Of course, you went through the age of, I guess I'd say my young 20s and college and, hey,
Okay.
wrestling's kind of, that young teen stuff. It's time to grow up and be an adult. And, so yeah, I naturally went through that. And then just, as going through being an adult and now, being a father, it was like, hey, I remember, of course, watching wrestling and even before becoming a father, but now, I have my son to share it with. So there's that, unique way for us to bond over wrestling. And he reminds me of, me being me when I was a kid. He just eats it up and loves all the characters. And, he'll go around with, singing Cody Rhodes' theme and everything. So yeah, it's cool to see it through his eyes. And every time that we get a chance where I'm not, booked doing a show, we usually try and make it a point to go catch an indie show just as fans. Just yesterday, we were up in Hoxie, Arkansas at OCW Out of Control Wrestling, checking the scene.
Okay. Cool. You have to send me some of their information. We follow a bunch of pages here. I'm not sure who we have and don't have anymore. Yeah, same for me. Like once I got to middle school, it was more football because that's kind of what I got into. All my friends were playing the video games, the football. And I discovered a lot of wrestlers just through the video game Raw too. Brock Lesnar, Batista, Randy Orton, guys like that.
Yep.
And I knew like Booker T and a few of them had went to WWF, but when I saw a lot of them on the game, I was like, wow, they finally got them guys there. For me, I like I said, I mentioned earlier, I was a WCW kid, so like, that was my jam. I liked Ernest the Cat Miller, Glacier. I just levitate towards the guys and gals that a lot of people don't like because I feel like I don't want to be like everyone else. Just like with my podcast, I try to do something different so I stand out. Have you been able to meet any of your wrestling heroes? And if you have, what is that like?
I mean, anybody I consider, a wrestling hero. And of course, always want to have a chance just to talk to them and, ask them questions and learn more. And of course, get advice being, in the industry, in the independent scene of it. Notably, I have gotten to meet and announce for Ron Simmons, Farouk.
Oh, okay.
Yep. The real Brian Kendrick. Also got to meet Bobby Fulton. Just recently announced for a talent that's in TNA, Jay Vidal.
Okay.
Yep. So got to meet him and talk with him for a few and announce him. So that's so those are the guys that I've met. Of course, a long laundry list that I'd love to meet. And hopefully start crossing those off here soon.
Who's the top one on your list that you can just think of right off the top of your head?
Jerry the King Lawler, honestly.
Okay.
And that's just from the broadcasting background and of course the announcing and commentary, like him or JR, absolutely. Some of the old announcers, Mean Gene Okerlund, no, obviously not with us anymore. But
Right.
if I could have, one of those, if you could have a dinner with somebody that's not alive anymore, yeah,
I'd love to hang out with Dusty just to
yeah,
listen to him talk, because I always like when people try to imitate him as well. Just to throw it out, RCCW out of La Crosse, Wisconsin, they are going to be bringing in Jerry Lawler to the Gilbert Brown Gravedigger show they have. I was able to meet Ric Flair last year. And sidebar, I was really excited because my buddy got to meet Ric Flair, but I was a huge Gilbert Brown fan growing up, who played for the Green Bay Packers, and I almost squealed with delight because he was in the picture with us, and I was basically, "Hello, Mr. Flair," and I was like, "What's up, Gilbert?" Like I was ready for Gilbert. My whole childhood was made that day. I could care 2 cents about Ric Flair that day because Gilbert was standing there. But now, when it comes to ring announcing, what is some of the prep work that you have to do? Is there? I'm assuming it's not like podcasting. It's not. Well, I'm trying to spin it here, but what is the preparation you have to go through the day of your show?
I mean, again, I have my background is in broadcasting, so I'm used to doing, radio and everything.
Okay.
That's what I went to school for. Graduated from Specs Howard up in Southfield, Michigan. But honestly, like for me, a normal day of preparation is of course, number one, I want to look the part, and everybody has their own style. But for me, like I pride myself on, and again, in Arkansas, there's been gyms that I've worked in that are 100 degrees. I'm there in my full suit jacket, slacks, dress shoes, button up shirt, tie, sweating as much as I could be, but that's part of my preparation. So one, being sure that, I look the part, everything, I'm sharp looking, suits ready to go. Of course, just vocal care. And right now, I am getting over a cold. I know we were supposed to meet last week, and voice is still a little bit rough than what I like it to be. But really the main things that I've been, and I'm a smoker, which hurts the vocal cords too. So usually, normally, one of the big things that I try and work on a few hours before the show is really drinking, room temperature water.
Okay.
Is a big one. And then not eating. And then of course, not smoking. At least, 4 to 6 hours before I know that I'm going to be live on the mic. At each event, I go up to every wrestler, every talent, every person that I'm going to be announcing for, whether, I've announced for them 50 million times or it's my first time meeting them. Hey, how's it going? Handshake. Let me confirm your billing info. Are you still from the same place? Have you changed your name at all? How do we pronounce it? Again, that's just that level of professionalism. And then, really sound checks and just getting, relaxed and ready to have fun with it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then looks like Erica is back with cough drops, or at least getting cough drops from the camera person. So
Erica is a great videographer. She has sorry for a cheap friend plug here, but
you're fine. I like making friends. Erica, before I cut you back off here again, Erica, drop all your information to our Facebook. We will follow, we will review it, we will share it, we will broadcast it because we like making friends. All right, back to you, sir.
Yeah, no, you're good. And absolutely, yeah, she's a great person. Great with highlight videos. She just started recently doing, but she owns a company called Black Spectrum Photography.
Oh, okay. I like that.
I've had the honor of working alongside her at many independent events around the Arkansas area, always top notch. And she's definitely rescued me a few times from, a little voice crack or something at the end of a match. And she's like, here, I think you need one of these. Thank you.
And then a big shout out to Mayhem Media there. JD doing great work over there. If you like wrestling, if you like TV, if you like sports, check out Mayhem Media. They like making friends as well. As you can see, we're giving them the plug here. JD is a huge CM Punk fan. And he wants everyone in the world to know. I can't wait to clip this at the 20-minute mark and 40 seconds to let everybody know that JD is a huge CM Punk fan. Now we're going to get some nasty comments from him just because I had to rile him up. I haven't talked to him for a few days, and there it is already. He's already back with the no. JD, I haven't talked to you for a few days, so I have to give you a little shit there. But back to you, Rich. So at the end of the night, what's your routine like? Do you just kind of pack up and go? Do you get to sit around and talk with some of the wrestlers? What's your end of the night look like at the wrestling events?
Well,
for me, I try to get the hell out of there because I've already been there for 6 hours. So
right. Honestly, I always try and help out anyway.
Okay.
Whether, and I know, like, I just believe that anytime you show up to a promotion, whether you've been there, 5 years or especially, even brand new promotions. And even though, like I said, I've been, announcing since 2018, first day at a promotion, help put up chairs, try and help put up the ring, whatever. It's a team effort, obviously. And that's just, also paying your dues.
Right.
After an event, usually my main thing is going and thanking everybody. That's the first thing that I want to do. Go shake hands with all the fans. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for your support, and little, oh, you did a great job. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I do usually have like pictures and stuff at events that I'm at.
Oh, okay.
Everybody wants to, a little bit of merchandise and to help, put a little extra in the gas tank or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, try and meet and greet everybody. And then, like I said, go help out wherever I'm needed. If it's, putting chairs up, if it's helping take the ring down, whatever I can do, as much as possible. Obviously, there are times, as we saw earlier, that there are times I have to be like, look, I'm sorry, kiddo, babysitter could only have him till this. I got to go and get out of here.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of the time, try and say what's up to everybody, hang around, help put up, and then, head on home. Usually, so along with doing announcing, I co-own a company and called Vapors Championship Wrestling.
Oh, okay.
So usually one of my other co-owners, his name is Keith Daniels. He rides with me to a lot of events. So usually if I'm at an event, he's right there. So our other favorite stop is Whataburger. It's always a tradition. Anytime we go to a show or an event, we got to stop at a Whataburger on our way back home. Yeah,
I'm a sucker for our local gas station around here called Quick Trip. Not to be confused with that Iowa one with the Q. I don't know. I just love their food there as well as the local grocery store. That's how I got this beautiful body. But is there any is there any funny stories you can share with us quick, or what's the longest you've traveled to a show? Have you ever been late? What are some kind of bloopers, in a sense, that have happened to you along the way? Blowing the tire out, or
there's so many. So there was definitely one time, I forget who the wrestler was, but I had, and I'm a card guy, just I can't do the memory, so I'm kind of old fashioned. But I had the information wrote down on my cards, and I'm reading through it, and I'm doing the announcement, I'm doing my glances and everything, and I don't know why, but I had wrote the weight down or looked at the wrong spot for the weight, and I introduced the guy, and I'm like, weighing in at 175 pounds. And this guy was clearly like 375. And like everybody in the crowd was like, really? We're going to go with that. Okay. Like, yeah. So that was one. Probably most embarrassing was I think it was like my very first or second time announcing at a promotion called South Central Wrestling. And I got in, I did the announcements, I knocked it out, I climbed out the rope. I went to go step down off the ring. My foot got caught on the apron, and I face planted right into the wood floor. Yeah.
Oh, we got Dakota back with, he has to tell the trip to Paris, Texas, and the weird venue. Okay.
So I got booked for this event in Paris, Texas. Great small little town. Yes, Ann Arbor, Michigan, just outside is where I grew up from. A small little town called Salina. Saline, Michigan. Sorry. Was reading Dakota's comment there. But yeah, so it was an event that I did in Paris, Texas. Great town, a lot of great promotions down there. It was just we pulled up and this, just short, quick thing. The venue was in like this back storage area of some storefronts or something.
Okay.
And so but it was like a sports kind of like complex thing as a break room or something. I don't know. And so like you walked in there and there was like batting cages and like little like golf things, and it was just it was just a different interesting setup that I hadn't been in before, and kind of like walking, like going up to the building. There wasn't really any like big signage or anything of, like here, this is where the event is.
Mm-hmm.
It was just kind of like looking at GPS and looking at the building and looking at GPS going, this is where it says it is, and there's the ring. So let's go check it out.
Oh, too funny, too funny. Looks like Keith is saying VCW there.
Yep.
That might pertain to your story there. And then Erica mentioned that kind of like tripping before, you kind of did something like that at IPCW too. So
yeah, it's definitely happened at a few. Yep.
You have to change your name to Tripler. Before we wrap it up, though, do you have any advice for anybody trying to get into wrestling as a ring announcer? And then we'll have you plug your socials, where people can find you, and we'll kind of wrap up this special live today.
Absolutely. For people that are looking to get into it, look around, check out your local scene first. Everybody always tells me, and it's something that I need to work on too, getting out and traveling. But to start, check out your local promotions. If it's something, if announcing or commentating is really the route that you want to go, talk to the people in those positions, show up and offer to help out. Every promoter, even being, a co-promoter, co-owner, and promoter myself, we always need people to help, set up ring, tear down ring, set up chairs, anywhere you can. And, get in there, get your foot in the door, get knowing people, be reliable, and, it's a fine line because you don't want to get taken advantage of,
right?
But like, it's a good way to get your name in there. And eventually, while a spot may not open up at that show, somebody will recognize that you're interested and hear of a spot at another show and go, hey, this one guy's been awesome at helping, tear down and set up, and he's been trying to get into announcing. Why don't you give him a, call or a message or whatever, and bam, you've, made your way into it. So just keep plugging away and, being a sponge and always willing to learn, always listening to feedback.
All right, real quick, Dakota popping in here again. Also help. Can't read here today. Let's see here. Also, I helped Rich become a fan of AEW. No, y'all, we're going to talk about AEW. Figured I'd add that. Oh, yeah. Any thoughts on AEW? I mean, I'm just trying to keep it to a short time for you here. Any thoughts on AEW there? Quick, and then we'll read Erica's comment. Pay your dues. Help put the ring up and take it down. It shows you are serious about wanting to do that.
Absolutely. And Dakota, another good bro of mine, he certainly helped me out with getting my name out there and been just instrumental to some of the, success that I've seen early on. AEW is, I believe it's a good product. I like what they offer and bring to the table for sure. I think, obviously they have a lot of growing to do, no matter what. I am interested. I know there's been a lot of speculation about whether, Shane McMahon is really, bought into the company or not. Mm-hmm. And I'm interested to see how that plays out, because if it does indeed come true, we're going to see a whole nother version of AEW.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah. And my view on the whole thing is this isn't a bad take. It's just, I don't think AEW is ever going to beat WWE. Because it has 40 years to 5. Absolutely. I mean, yes, they'll beat them in ratings, views, and the stuff that shouldn't matter to fans. I mean, they'll compete, but they're never going to be WWE. And people have to realize that is this company is still 5 years old.
Right.
They have a long way to go. Just like WWE, when they first started, they made mistakes, they made errors, and then they fixed them. Then they made more errors, then they fixed them.
Right.
Just like with my podcast, I've learned to continue to try things to see what sticks. Same with you with ring announcing. And my big thing is I feel like AEW is for the actual wrestling fans who want to go to a wrestling show, experience wrestling on a higher level than the independents, and that's not a diss to the independents.
Absolutely.
Whereas WWE is the circus. The
Right.
circus comes to town, and people are going to want to go because there's music, potentially, Kid Rock. Not that I want to name drop that, but like, Papa Roach and, Machine Gun. I'm picking horrible examples, but there's going to be a chance where they can see a musical act during a pay-per-view. There's
Right.
also, Hugh Jackman and Seth Green, and people are going to show up for the celebrities. The Rock coming back. That's an attraction that people want to see. So that's the
Absolutely.
circus going town to town to town, and it's going to fill up arenas because, people know WWE as this big machine where, it's in town. I really don't like it. I watched it as a kid, but hey, it's something to do on a Monday night, and they're in Pennsylvania. Let's go.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whereas AEW, people like you and me who actually enjoy wrestling and want to see it are going to go because we know what it is, and we know as wrestling fans, we're going there because
Absolutely.
it's in town. Whereas WWE, it pops in town, everyone's going to go because it is the spectacle, it is the Broadway, it is the circus. So.
Honestly, I kind of see, as far as companies go, and I hope that, Shane McMahon aside or not, for AEW, I obviously hope them to be successful because nonetheless, competition is always great.
Yep.
I see, and especially, WWE now doing more global events like the pay-per-views. I'm sorry, the premium live events. That's what I was trying to think of. I'm still,
I still call them pay-per-views.
Pay-per-views, but the premium live events, and different countries and everything. That's something, growing up, they didn't really, back in the 90s and 2000s, they didn't really do that. Maybe the UK once in a while, but they didn't do that. And so I'm kind of business-wise, what I see happening is WWE becoming more of a global-wide company where they tour those other countries more and start bringing the Raws and everything to them. And AEW step up into that more U.S. domestic.
Until they get there, and then it also shows me too that they're like, okay, well, we've captivated on this audience. Now we need to branch out,
right?
Because they've gotten their fill in the U.S. and now they're going to even get more fans by going to these countries because you see every time when they say WrestleMania is live and blah, 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 many countries, so many countries are attending, and that number just keeps growing every year.
Absolutely.
But now it's going to be nice because they'll actually be in Germany. They'll be in Australia. And it also probably makes a lot of the wrestlers happy because then they can put on, a match in their home countries.
Right.
Like Rhea Ripley in Perth. That elevated her to another level. Bash in the Berlin, I think it's called, or Bash at Berlin, or however it's worded. Gunther, it's showcasing him more. So it's kind of a great idea. I love that they're doing it. And like you said, now AEW is going to capitalize on they're out of the country for 3 weeks.
Right.
And, be able to capitalize on that, and they'll get there. It's just the one thing that drives me nuts mostly is fans care too much about the attendance. They care too much about the ratings. They care too much about the storylines. But then they say, oh, I love pro wrestling. No, you don't. Because you sit there and critique everything, just like Joe Monroe would say, shut up, enjoy the wrestling.
Right.
Because that's why you're a fan. You don't care how many people attend. You really don't care about ratings. And storylines, they're constantly recycled anyways. And I can show you 17 examples of how they've done the same story in WWE. They've just tweaked it a little bit through the decades. Just enjoy the wrestling, enjoy what you love, and stop critiquing it and just move forward.
Absolutely.
Because we need the competition. Otherwise, we're going to get the one company, and then we're going to sit and bitch because that's all we have.
Yep.
So enjoy what's out there. Stop worrying, because they don't compare ratings to TNA. They don't compare attendance to TNA. It's always AEW versus WWE, and it's just like, why does that matter? Like, I don't care how many people are in the stands. I don't care how many people are watching it. I'm watching it because I love it.
Right.
I don't go into an independent show and say, well, there was only 500 people, so the show sucked. No, like, I've been to shows where there's 5 people, and it's probably been one of my funnest shows.
Absolutely.
I don't care if the house didn't make money, because I'm not on the bill for it. I'm sorry, no offense to the wrestlers or the bookers, but that's something I shouldn't have to worry about, because I'm there sitting in my seat, getting to watch wrestling with my nephew, who is enjoying the hell out of it, and he isn't looking at the 5 people around him.
Right.
You know, so that's my rant, so.
No, absolutely, man. I agree.
But yeah, where can the people find you? We'll kind of wrap this up, and then we'll go from there. We'll get you out here again.
Yeah, pretty much mainly on Facebook. Just look up Rich One Fall Rockwell. That's kind of my little moniker thing. But yes, and exactly, yeah, they have been in AEW London, and all that. Yep. So, and that was a great event. But again, yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much the main way, right on Facebook. Just, Rich One Fall Rockwell. It'll bring up my Facebook page profile. Of course, if you're in the Arkansas area, Vapors Championship Wrestling, South Central Wrestling, Gladiator Championship Wrestling, Infinity Pro Championship Wrestling out in Jacksonville. Just come to Arkansas and say, where's Rich Rockwell going to be?
That's right. That should be a t-shirt. Where's Rich Rockwell? You can be the new Carmen Sandiego. That's my idea.
I like it. Hey,
and
buddy,
make sure you send me all those links too, buddy. Send me all those links, and I'll follow everything. You just got to let me know, because I sometimes get kind of clouded here. And
also, real quick here, I'll take just another area that you can catch me at. Starting, well, not an exact date yet, but check out PatrickandThePeople.com. It's a new podcast that I'm going to be a co-host on with a former morning radio show host from here in Little Rock, Arkansas. And it's a lot of fun. So PatrickandThePeople.com. That'll be another place you'll be able to catch me at soon.
And then Dakota says, bring Rich to Wisconsin. Dakota, are you from Wisconsin? The greatest state ever, because we have the cheese.
I was going to say, he's actually in, I believe he's in Louisiana.
Well, then what's he talking about Wisconsin?
Well, he's telling you, man, put the word out there. Tell him, hey, I know this great announcer. He'll come up here.
Well, I'm in Wisconsin. I'll make sure to let everybody know. So
for sure.
I'm right next to Lake Superior. It's like 2 blocks from my house. So you go jump in the lake if I want. But Rich, I appreciate you coming on here. And more importantly, I appreciate you being a friend of the Squared Circle. I got quotes for days, folks. If you want to be just like Rich, hit us up on Facebook, hit that like button, subscribe. I know it's annoying to hear it on every podcast, but we all have goals out there, folks. And if you want some of your stuff broadcasted, because we kind of are a little bit bigger page, reach out to us and we'll share it. We will try to get some follows for you. I want everybody to succeed out there. I want everybody to get a piece of the pie. This isn't just about me getting close to 3K. I know I mentioned it, but, I also want to see my friends hit 1,000, 500. So make sure you give them a follow as well when we show them off, because, we're all struggling out here to make it. We all got dreams and goals, and, mine is just to see my friends succeed. So I have no aspirations of being in the wrestling business besides just doing my podcast and setting up vendor tables to talk to the friends at shows. So, Rich, before we go, we're going to put you on the spot. I want to have you do your best announcing for anything you want to do. This is your riff here. The floor is yours, and then we will close up shop.
All right, Crander. So you're from Wisconsin, right?
I am from Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Eau Claire.
Eau Claire. All right. Height and weight?
I am 5'8", but I pretend to be 5'9". Okay. And I weigh about as much as your mother's couch. So,
all right.
Threw you a curveball there.
Crander, right?
Cal or Crander, whatever you prefer. You're the one running the show here.
All right, here we go. Now you have to forgive me because still voice is a little hoarse.
That's
so.
fine. That's going to be perfect.
Let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is set for one fall. Introducing first from Eau Claire, Wisconsin, standing at 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at as much as your mother's couch, Crander. There you
I
go.
love it. All right, folks, make sure you give Rich a follow. Give us a follow. We will keep this up. We'll also show off his information here in a few hours. That way you can follow that as well. And thank you all for being a friend of the Squared Circle. It's your boy, Crander Q. Crander Q out.